After 60, many people wake up tired, drink coffee, and still feel like their body never really turns on. The cup is hot, the routine is familiar, but the energy does not arrive the way it used to. You sit there waiting for the old spark, and instead you feel heavy, slow, and slightly foggy. Most people blame age, but age is not the whole story. The bigger question is what signal your morning is sending to your cells, because coffee by itself can wake your brain for a while, but it cannot fix a morning built around sugar, sitting, low protein, poor sleep, and weak muscle. That is why this coffee trick is not about making caffeine louder. It is about making the first hour of your day smarter. And if you stay with me, I will show you the one detail that makes this work like a ritual instead of just another cup. Mitochondria are often described as the energy engines inside your cells. They help turn nutrients into usable energy, and research shows aging muscle is linked with changes in mitochondrial function and quality. But here's the part people miss. Your mitochondria do not only respond to age, they respond to movement, food quality, sleep, muscle use, blood sugar patterns, and the way your morning begins. So when someone says metabolism slows after 60, the answer is not to surrender. The answer is to stop sending the body the same weak signals every morning. The trick begins with coffee, but coffee is only the trigger. The real protocol is black coffee, a tiny spice signal, water, protein, and movement in the right order. This is why the title says mitochondria, energy, and fat metabolism. Not because coffee magically rebuilds cells overnight, because a better morning can push the body toward alertness, better appetite control, and more movement, which are the conditions where energy metabolism works better. And the spice can be clove or cinnamon, but today I want you to understand the method behind it. In a few minutes, I will show the exact 7-day test, but first, you need to see the mistake destroying most morning coffee routines. And pay close attention to this message, because you've been asking me for this for a long time, and I decided to finally deliver it. I realized that most people don't struggle because they lack information. They struggle because they lack a method. They try everything, mix products, irritate their skin, give up halfway, and then get frustrated because they don't have a clear step-by-step plan. That's why I created the Secret Aesthetics Protocol. In it, I show you the pillars of a complete health and aesthetics method and reveal the secret techniques the industry doesn't teach you to identify the invisible signs that are aging you. Choose the right and cheap ingredients with the correct order and safe combinations, and build real results from the inside out with Japanese principles as your big map. And for everyone who follows the channel, I left 3 exclusive bonuses as a gift. It's in the first link in the description or in the pinned comment. Click the link and become part of our community, because this opportunity can go offline at any time. Now back to the video. The mistake is drinking coffee like a metabolic tool while building it like a dessert. Sugar, sweet creamer, white bread, cookies, and sitting for hours can turn the first cup into the beginning of a crash. You feel awake for a moment, then hunger comes back, the body feels heavier, and the day starts asking for more sweetness. That is not metabolism waking up. That is stimulation followed by confusion. Coffee can temporarily increase alertness and energy expenditure, but caffeine is not a replacement for protein, walking, sleep, or muscle. That is the line most coffee videos refuse to say. Caffeine gives a push, a routine gives direction. After 60, direction matters more than a push because the body becomes less forgiving of chaotic mornings. Now the spice enters. Clove contains eugenol and other compounds studied for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. But 1 clove in coffee is still a food ritual, not a medical treatment. Cinnamon can also make coffee taste warmer and more complete, and that matters if your real problem is needing sugar to tolerate black coffee. The point is not that spice burns fat. The point is that spice can change the cup enough to help you remove what keeps the morning unstable. Less sugar, more bitterness, more aroma, more awareness. That small shift can make the coffee feel satisfying without turning it into dessert. Here's the simple version. Brew 1 cup of morning coffee. Add 1 whole clove, or a tiny pinch of cinnamon. Let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. Remove the clove before drinking, or keep the cinnamon tiny enough that the cup does not turn harsh. Drink it in the morning, not late in the day. Then drink water, then eat a breakfast with protein. Then take a 10-minute walk if your body allows it. That sequence is the trick. Coffee wakes attention. Spice changes the flavor signal. Water helps the body start the day less dry. Protein gives the morning structure. Walking tells the body to use energy. 1 piece alone is small. Together, they become a morning command. And that is why this is more powerful than just adding something to a cup. It creates a chain reaction of better choices before the day gets noisy. Now let me show you what happens when people get this wrong. They add clove or cinnamon, but keep the sugar. They drink the coffee at 3 in the afternoon and wonder why they cannot sleep. They skip breakfast, get hungry, then eat anything fast. They never move after the cup, so the caffeine becomes nervous energy instead of useful energy. Then they say the trick failed. It did not fail. They only copied the ingredient and missed the protocol. That is the difference between a hack and a ritual. A hack is something you try once. A ritual is something that keeps sending the same signal until the body starts expecting it. That expectation matters. Older bodies often respond well to predictable routines because the signal is repeated, clear, and easier to follow. The best morning is not the most extreme morning. It is the morning that removes confusion. No sugar fog, no caffeine panic, no heavy breakfast crash, no sitting still while waiting for energy to magically appear. Just 1 cup, 1 spice, 1 glass of water, protein, and movement. The promise is not that you will feel 20 again from 1 cup. The promise is that you stop wasting your strongest morning habit. Coffee is already there. Most seniors do not need a completely new life to start. They need the habit they already repeat every day to stop pulling in the wrong direction. That is why this small change is so sticky. It does not ask you to become a different person before breakfast. It asks you to change the first signal, then attach that signal to the next better choice. If you do that for 1 morning, it feels interesting. If you do that for 7 mornings, you start seeing patterns. If you do it for 30 mornings, the ritual becomes part of your identity. That is when a cup stops being a habit and starts becoming a lever. And after 60, the right lever matters because energy, appetite, and movement shape the entire day. In the next part, I will give you the 7-day test, the 5 mistakes that erase the benefit, and the safety rules seniors need to hear before turning this into a daily habit. Now let us build the 7-day test, because a coffee trick without a test becomes another forgotten internet tip. Most people fail because they change everything and measure nothing. They use clove on Monday, cinnamon on Tuesday, sugar on Wednesday, skip breakfast on Thursday, and call that an experiment. That is not an experiment. That is noise. A real test keeps the signal clean enough that your body can answer. For 7 mornings, use the same cup, the same timing, and the same basic sequence. Coffee first, spice inside, water after, protein breakfast, short walk, that is the structure. Day 1 is about taste and tolerance. Add 1 whole clove to hot coffee or use a tiny pinch of cinnamon and let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. If it tastes warm, aromatic, and slightly bitter, you did it right. If it tastes like medicine, you used too much. Day 2 is about removing sugar. Do not fight yourself with willpower. Let the spice make the cup feel fuller. The goal is not suffering through bad coffee. The goal is making black or lower sugar coffee more satisfying. Day 3 is about energy timing. Notice what happens 2 hours after the cup. Do you feel steadier or do you crash? Do cravings arrive early or does breakfast hold you longer? That answer tells you whether your morning is becoming more stable. Day 4 is about breakfast. This is where most seniors destroy the whole benefit. They drink a smarter coffee, then eat a breakfast that is mostly white bread, cookies, jam, or cereal. Then they wonder why the body feels sleepy. Protein changes the morning. Protein supports muscle, and muscle is one of the biggest levers in metabolism after 60. Day 5 is about walking. A 10-minute walk after breakfast is not punishment. It is a signal. It tells the body that the energy you just consumed has somewhere to go. Even light movement after meals can support better glucose handling and digestion for many people. Day 6 is about sleep. Ask whether late caffeine has been stealing energy from tomorrow. Caffeine can cause trouble sleeping, palpitations, anxiety, heartburn, or digestive discomfort in sensitive people. If you drink coffee too late, you may wake up tired and then need more coffee to survive the fatigue that coffee helped create. That is the loop. Day 7 is about the mirror you cannot fake. Not the bathroom mirror, the routine mirror. Did you use less sugar? Did you move more? Did breakfast become stronger? Did your energy feel less chaotic? Did your digestion feel more awake? Those are the signs that the trick is doing its real job. Now let us talk about the 5 mistakes that erase the benefit. Mistake 1 is turning the coffee into dessert. A spice cannot rescue a cup loaded with sugar, syrup, and sweet creamer. If the first signal of the day is sweetness, the craving loop often starts before breakfast is even finished. Mistake 2 is using too much spice. More clove does not mean more metabolism. More cinnamon does not mean more fat burning. Too much spice can irritate the stomach, worsen reflux, and make the ritual impossible to repeat. Mistake 3 is using concentrated clove oil. Do not do that. This is about a whole clove or a tiny pinch of ground spice in food amounts. Clove oil is concentrated and belongs in a completely different caution category. Mistake 4 is skipping protein. After 60, muscle is metabolic currency. If you keep losing muscle, the body has fewer places to use energy well, so the coffee trick must be attached to a breakfast that supports muscle, not a breakfast that only fills the mouth. Mistake 5 is expecting caffeine to replace movement. Coffee can make you feel ready to move, but it cannot move for you. The seniors who get the best result are usually not the ones who use the strongest coffee. They are the ones who use coffee as the first step into action. Now here is the part that makes the pharmaceutical industry angle hit people emotionally. Many seniors feel like every decline is explained with a prescription before anyone discusses the morning pattern. But the opposite extreme is also dangerous. Do not stop medication because a spice made coffee taste better. Do not treat a kitchen ritual like it replaces medical care. The smarter truth is stronger. Simple habits should be used early, consistently, and intelligently, so the body has fewer problems to fight later. That is where this trick belongs. It is not a drug. It is not a cure. It is not a fat burner in disguise. It is a ritual that makes the first hour of the day less chaotic. Now, let us talk safety, because seniors need clear rules, not hype. If you're sensitive to caffeine, use less coffee or consider decaf. If caffeine raises your heart rate, worsens anxiety, triggers reflux, or hurts sleep, the coffee itself may be the problem. If you take blood thinners, diabetes medication, blood pressure medication, or several daily medications, ask a clinician before turning cloves or cinnamon into a daily habit. If you have liver disease, surgery scheduled, ulcers, severe reflux, or a history of allergic reactions to spices, do not treat this casually. Food amounts are different from supplement doses, but daily repetition still deserves respect. Now let us bring the protocol together. Morning coffee, 1 whole clove or a tiny pinch of cinnamon, 3 to 5 minutes of infusion, no sugar if possible. Water after. Protein breakfast, 10-minute walk. Repeat for 7 days. That is the real coffee trick for mitochondria, energy, and fat metabolism after 60. Not because the cup alone activates everything like a switch, because the cup becomes a trigger for the habits that actually support energy metabolism. Mitochondria respond to the life around them. They respond to movement. They respond to nutrients. They respond to sleep. They respond to muscle use. And they respond badly to a morning built on sugar, sitting, and random stimulation. Now imagine 30 mornings of a cleaner signal. 30 mornings without turning coffee into dessert. 30 mornings with protein instead of empty breakfast. 30 mornings with a short walk instead of a long sit. That is where small rituals become powerful. Not because they are dramatic, because they are repeatable. The real secret is not inside the spice. The real secret is that the spice makes the routine easier to follow. It changes the taste. It changes the decision. It changes the first signal of the day. And after 60, the first signal matters, because when the morning starts confused, the whole day fights uphill. But when the morning starts clear, the body finally gets a message it can use. That message is simple. Wake up, stabilize, move, build. That is how a cup of coffee stops being just caffeine and starts becoming the doorway to a better metabolism. And here's how to judge the result honestly. Do not look for a miracle on the scale. Look for the signals that come before the scale. A steadier morning, less hunger panic, less need for sweet coffee, more willingness to walk, better breakfast choices. A day that begins with structure instead of reaction. Those are not small wins. They are the early signs that your routine is finally working with your body instead of pushing against it. If those signs show up, keep the ritual. If they do not, adjust the weak point. Maybe the caffeine is too much. Maybe breakfast is still too low in protein. Maybe the walk is missing. The answer is not hype. The answer is correction. That is how seniors turn curiosity into a usable daily method. And I want to tell you one more thing. First of all, congratulations for staying until here. If you watched until the end, it's because this topic really matters to you. I guarantee you, very few people stay until the end. And that's exactly why I can't help but recommend the Secret Aesthetics Protocol to you one more time. It's the perfect method for you if you want to reverse visible signs, stop trying everything, and start following a step-by-step plan that works with the right and cheap ingredients in the correct order and with safe combinations to improve your skin, hair, and nails from the inside out. When you join, you get lifetime access, and you also receive 3 exclusive bonuses. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment and start your protocol now. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.